Hello, folks. Welcome in to episode, we'll call this episode 3 of Packs for Breakfast. We are going to be doing 1991 tops today. I'm Chris. Randy, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you this morning?
Oh, I am trying to get things together. I had a very long day yesterday, so trying to get everything all figured out here.
There we go.
I came down from the hill yesterday. We were hunting, and that could be kind of a long day.
What were you hunting for?
Um, deer,
Deer.
deer.
It's like that's not a deer donut, is it?
No, this is actually a.
That was the bait.
That was the bait. Yes. No, this is actually a donut with. Uh, the little candy Heath.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a donut with Heath on the top.
Wow.
A little all crushed up, nice and pretty there.
It looks delicious.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. I'm not really sure at this moment, but all right. So we got 1991 tops today.
They're just progressing through the years.
Yes, progressing through the years, and we've got quite a few packs here. We'll see if we get through them all. We don't have to. There's a couple fat packs in there, which are 34 cards instead of 15, so you could get the value pack back in 1991.
Do they look like they've been rummaged through previously?
I don't believe so. 1991 wasn't like a huge year to find big name players or rookies or anything. As you can see, these were 99 cents back in the day. And
So that'd be a bargain today, but it was a nice little bargain back then too.
yeah, 34 cards, considering the regular packs were 15, much smaller. So if you just put it in comparison there, I'd go after.
Now, did the fat packs ever do they yield any better, or was it just leftover cards?
Nah, it was just more base cards. And I don't know if there's really inserts. We're gonna have to find out what we see, but I'm not really sure what the insert cards were for this year.
We're gonna see how many players in the fat packs were big fat losers.
We'll find a few of those. What was
No matter what.
who was our guy last week?
I know Joe Orsulak is our guy every week,
Yeah,
but Ward seems to pop up.
yeah, Orsulak was the guy I was thinking of. And
He's popped up both weeks.
if we can just find Doug DeCenzo, everything will be good, right?
Yeah. Well, Doug DeCenzo, I'm hoping the fat packs will yield a Doug DeCenzo.
I really hope so too, because I feel as though after 91 we may not find Mr. DeCenzo.
No, I'm trying to figure out right now what his last season was, because we may be looking in vain in this season. But I think he went into the mid 90s. So he does get into 93, so we have until almost 94 to get his card.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem too hard then.
Yeah, no, it's like, fingers crossed.
Bear with me here.
We will get a little Dougie D.
I am really trying to tone down this color.
Oh, come on, that pink is such a natural color for those Topps baseball cards.
There we go. That's a little better. I mean, it's still pink, but... Alright. Let's open this pack up and see what we got here. Ooh, definitely not pilfered through.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't want you to open the pack.
But, importantly, there's our gum.
The gum is intact. I mean, think about that. 33 years later, the gum is still in one piece.
Yes, it is. All right.
And that gum would have lasted another 33 years in there.
I'll do like the guy on my the video that I really like. I'm gonna go ahead and eat it, just so you guys can see and hear this. And oh my god, it's terrible. That is truly disgusting.
Yeah, I bet. I bet that is not the experience you were hoping for.
I'm very sad that I did that.
Probably that guy is always very sad that he does that too.
Oh man. From 1991, I really hope that people don't eat that gum, because
I'm telling you right now, it's like if you're not at your place of employment tomorrow, we'll know why. Recovering from gum disease, and not the kind you're thinking of.
Gum disease. That's what we should title this video.
Yeah, gum disease, because you done ate it.
All right. So we're gonna start off with Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds, amazing player, always the amazing. It's like, to me, it's still criminal that he is not in the Hall of Fame. I get all the juicing stuff, but he never got popped for it during his playing career. So, you know, not Mo Vaughn, who am I thinking of? Big Papi. He got popped for PEDs, and he still made the Hall of Fame. So there's no reason that, Bond shouldn't be in there too. It's just he wasn't as likable as Big Papi was.
Well, you could argue that for sure, because the more popular you are, the better chance you have of, figuring that out.
Yeah, but it's like there have been players that haven't been popular that have still made it in, but it's like, unfortunately, it's, you're talking Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds. You're talking some of the best players that have been left out because you've got a bunch of old baseball writers that are gatekeeping.
And that could be, part of the problem is the fact that it's writers and coaches, and these guys are the ones who are picking who goes in. It's not an arbitrary system. So, yes, gatekeeping. Pete Rose, you could make that argument. I mean, there's tons of players over the years that could be in consideration for the Hall that don't get in because of somebody. And maybe you change that system, make it a little more checklist based, and
maybe
could change things a little bit.
Well, and it's also, Pete Rose is also another one. It's like, but I understand the lifetime ban, and it's like, and there is a thing of betting on baseball, but if you're going to blur one line, you got to blur another line, so it's like, if it's up to me, Pete Rose gets in too. I'm a little bit more reluctant on it, but if, he's betting on his own team, but you're still going to make decisions that maybe you normally wouldn't make. If you think that, it can affect a spread or something like that, or a line, or an over-under, there are definitely reasons where it's like, yeah, you may have bet on your team, but the problem is, it's like, maybe if there was an over-under, you don't try to score as many runs because you bet the under, So, which, in baseball, the other team can still outdo your runs that you were holding back on.
Well, and betting on you just don't do it. Just don't bet on baseball, and then you don't have an issue, right?
Well, and don't bet on any sport you're playing in. I mean, there's no reason to.
Correct.
There are tons of other sports that you're not playing that you can bet on if you really want to bet.
Yeah, if you need to do it that badly, bet on something different.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, if you're a baseball player, there are many, many, many other opportunities of other sports. I mean, come on, like Underdog Fantasy and DraftKings and MGM, they're all making it as easy as they can to let you bet on everything else. So,
yep.
So find another hobby.
That would make the most sense. I'm still messing with lights here too. I apologize. It's just
we're gonna have a rave going here soon.
All right, so starting with
we
Barry
need some
Bonds,
rave music.
We're gonna go.
You need a donut that glows.
I am working on getting sound effects, and I feel like this is the perfect time because next we have an Topps All-Star rookie, Scott Radinsky.
I remember Scott Radinsky. He did end up having a pretty good career. Of course, I can't talk right now, so it's always good. Scott Radinsky. Let's look at his career. He was a rated rookie, so he was pretty good the previous year, is what they're telling me.
This was an all-star rookie. And he also has his own rock group named Scared Straight.
Well, I'll tell you, the funny part is, I mean, they call him an all-star rookie, but he never made an all-star team. So I'm not really sure where they got that from. He wasn't a terrible pitcher, played 11 years, 42 and 25, 3.44 ERA. So, but it looks like he might have spent a lot of time injured, or he was mostly a bullpen guy, which it looks like that's what his career was. He was a career bullpen guy. But yeah, solid. I mean, it's like, 10, 11 years in the MLB as a bullpen guy. I'll take it. I'd take that career.
Well, we're just gonna have to keep an eye on these rated rookies and all-star rookies just so we can figure out how they ended up doing, because they put these guys in under these all-star rookie, rated rookie, and then half of them don't pan out to do anything in their career.
Yeah. And I mean, Scott Radinsky, never an all-star, but, I'll give him credit for being as talented. I mean, a 3.44 career ERA, that means you didn't light him up very often.
Next, we have... Golly, I'm having so much trouble with these lighting and getting this together this morning. It is not great. But we got Jeff Russell, who is pitcher for the Rangers.
And I'm sure he was the greatest of all time. And we're just not knowing what he actually did.
Yeah.
He was a two-time All-Star. He did win the AL Rolaids Relief Man Award in 1989. So.
Well, yeah, because he was a 71-game pitcher with 72 innings pitched with an ERA of 1.98 and 38 saves. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time that he was definitely worthy of, and it's nice to see he did make an all-star team. He's also in the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame.
I could see why, because he did have a very good, he had a very good Texas Rangers career, for sure. So I think he deserves to be in the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, he's definitely one. He's definitely like a Broncos Ring of Fame or whatever. He's definitely one of those guys that deserves to have the plaque and the whole shebang.
All right, we got Billy Spears. God, man.
And every time it's a guy that I think I don't really know that much about, I always think they're going to be a catcher, but he definitely looks like he's probably at second base there.
Yeah, he's a shortstop. So he's got Brewers shortstop. He played with the Denver Zephyrs, it looks like. No. Yeah, Denver Zephyrs.
Yeah, he did, because he was a Brewer, so it's like that was their minor league affiliate, was the Zephyrs. I mean, not a remarkable career. I mean, he did play about 12, 13 years. He had about 37, only 37 homers, 271, 388. Typical, probably middle infielder. Not big numbers, but probably had a decent glove. He was the punter for Clemson University.
Oh, well, there you go. He could kick a ball and he could throw a ball.
He can kick and throw. But yeah, not the most remarkable career ever, but still. His son was also a punter for Clemson.
That's kind of neat. Like father, like son. We like to see
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I don't know when his son played for Clemson, but it is kind of interesting.
All right, then we're gonna go to Mark Grant of the Braves. He was a pitcher. He played with the Giants for 3 years, and then the Padres for 4, and then the Braves in 1990. Oh, he was actually a Padre and a Brave in 1990.
Well, can you guess who his last appearances was with? What team he played for as his last team?
Mark Grant.
His last playing was 1993.
Did he play as a Rocky?
He was. That right there is a future Rocky, Mark Grant. His last appearance was for the Rockies.
Mr. Mark Grant, the irrelevant Rocky.
The irrelevant Rocky, because he only played half a year. He started the year in Houston.
Interesting. He was a middle reliever guy. He didn't have anything too crazy going on.
He was sent to the Rockies for Braulio Castillo. He was released from the club just 2 months later and signed with the Angels in August, but he never pitched for the Angels.
I see. So he was one of those journeymen for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean you're looking at a career. I mean it's still a career he missed all of '85, but he did. You can tell he was a guy that he was one of those and a player to be named later or just the throw-in player on deals, because for the Giants to the Padres, and then the Astros to the Rockies, he was just kind of traded for another guy. 382 strikeouts in his career. Not Nolan Ryan, who probably does that in a season.
Well, this next gentleman is going to excite you a little bit, I can already tell.
Doug DeCenzo.
No.
Is that Sean Dunston?
Mr. Sean Dunston.
Oh, see, now when I first watched the Cubs back in '84, '85, I remember they used to have in the crowd whenever they played the home games, they had the Shawnometer. And the Shawnometer, they would always, every time Sean Dunston came up, they would show this one fan just holding his batting average up. That's it. That's all it was. It was a flipboard, with 3 numbers, and it was his batting average. And every time this guy's just sitting there holding it up, they would show the camera onto the guy holding it. And it was called the Shawnometer because they were always tracking every at bat. They tracked this guy's batting average. But very good shortstop. One of my favorite players that the Cubs had at the time. Had some power. Definitely when the wind was blowing out at Wrigley, he was had a little bit more pop. But a decent. For me, he was one of my favorite players. So I look back on his career a lot more, fondly than a lot of other people would. But he still had a very long career. You're talking 17, 18 years, 2-time All-Star, and he is in the Cubs Hall of Fame. Yep. 150 homers.
I remember Sean Dunston too, and he was always the. He would just be consistent. He would always get hits, be on base, not necessarily dropping bomb home runs, but he was a. He's what you didn't like the guy if you didn't like the Cubs, because he would always be on base and making plays, and just like Sean Dunston.
Yeah, no, that is one of those. I get excited when I see Cubs from that era they were decent. He's not a legend to really anybody else unless you were a Cubs fan at that time. And I'm sure there are Cubs fans out there that might remember some mistakes because he'd make some dumb errors every once in a while, but for the most part, he was a solid glove, good arm, decent bat, decent power, just a solid all around. He's one of those guys that anybody else in the major leagues, if you're a fan of the Oakland A's in that time frame, you probably don't know who Sean Dunston is. But that, like I said, every team has those players that nobody else really knows about, but if you're a fan of that team, that was one of your guys.
Absolutely. Everybody, you're always going to have one player that you really like. Maybe nobody else does, but he's just your guy.
Yeah, and it's like, and Sean Dunston is one of those guys.
All right, next we got Dave Martinez, outfielder for the Expos.
He was. I'm going to look him up.
He was a Cubby for 3 years, and then he went to the Expos in 88, 89, 90.
I mean, he had a long career. The funny part is, here's the funny part. I watched the Cubs in that era, but I don't remember Dave Martinez. I really don't. I don't remember what he really did for the Cubs.
Well,
but it was early in his career. You got to look. 86 to 88 was when he played. Those were his first 3 years in the MLB, and you're usually not your best yet. But currently, I think he is the Washington Nationals manager. Two-time World Series champion. Obviously, as coaches for these teams. But yeah, it's funny. It's like I don't remember him. I remember guys like Jerome Walton and Dwight Smith in their early years for the Cubs, but I don't remember Dave Martinez.
Huh. Well, I don't really remember him either, so.
I don't remember him as an Expo or anything else. I mean, he played for a lot of teams. Played for the Reds, the Giants, the White Sox, the Devil Rays, the Cubs again, the Rangers, the Blue Jays, the Braves. And now he coaches the Washington Nationals. which is the Montreal Expos.
Yep. So
He's come full circle.
he has come full circle. He is back in.
Well, there's that little Cubs circle he didn't. He actually circled the Cubs thing when he came back to him in 2000. So he did the Cubs circle, and then he did the Expo / National circle.
Well, there you go.
He's got 2 circles.
2.
3 more, he's the Olympics.
Then we got Pete Harnish.
Pete Harnish was also good. It's like I'm trying to think of Pete Harnish. I know him more as an Astro, I think.
Yeah, he was a minor leaguer for a lot of years.
But I do know him as an Astro. He played for the Astros from 91 to 94. So that's probably his Orioles card, isn't it?
Yep, that's an Orioles. He was an Oriole in 91.
Yeah. He was an Oriole in 90.
Yeah.
But 91 through 94, he was an Astro. That's where I remember Harnish. 111 and 103, 389 ERA, 1,368 strikeouts for his career.
He played in 31 games in 1990 and had 188 innings pitched. That's pretty good. All right, instant win game. Always.
It's like, did you instantly win?
I did not. Unfortunately, they always put expiration dates on those. All right, we got Lou Whitaker, second baseman for the Detroit Tigers.
Lou Whitaker had a very long career.
He started in 77.
I mean, this is this is definitely a guy that he spent a lot of times. Like how it says, not to be confused with Lou Whitaker, the Mountaineer.
I actually remember Lou Whitaker. He when I got into it was at the tail end of his career, but he was always around, just an old timer.
Here's the thing. So here's a guy that played technically 19 seasons in the MLB from 77 to 95. He played every one of them with the Detroit Tigers.
Yep.
He never left. Detroit Tiger. They retired as number 1. He was a Rookie of the Year in 78, World Series champion in 84, 5-time All-Star, won 3 Gold Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggers. I mean, definitely, if you're a Tigers fan from that era, you definitely remember him as a legend.
Most definitely.
2,300 hits, 276. I mean, it's weird to see that the guy never left the team. Even going into the 90s when you get free agency, he never left.
Right.
So, I mean, props to him. I love it when a guy stays with the team his entire career because it just doesn't happen anymore.
And then we got the good old checklist card. We like to see those.
It's like, I'm surprised those cards are not worth $20 each. Because they just seem so rare. Like you would just never see them, and you get lots of them.
And the checklist card was always a throwaway card. Some people would actually use them as a checklist to get I got that guy. But for the most part, you get a checklist and you toss it because it's just not exciting. All right, so we're going to Willie Frazier, pitcher for the Angels. Oh, did we lose you again this week, Randy? And, of course, we lost Randy. So we're going to try and get him back here real quick. But we're going to continue on with Willie Frazier. He was a pitcher for the Angels from 86 to 90. Mid reliever guy. It looks like pretty solid mid reliever. And we had him. I mean, middle reliever. What do you really say about that guy? And we're still working to get Randy back. Our audio has cut out, so we're gonna work here real quick to get him back. But we're gonna continue. We got Charlie Huff. He is a pitcher for the Rangers. Gosh, sorry about this. I can't really seem to do two things at once. Oh my goodness. Charlie Huff pitched from 1970 to 1990. Man, he had a long career. He was really good, solid Rangers pitcher. All right, guys, we're gonna see. I'm still working to get Randy back. All right, I think. Oh, there we go. It's back.
There we go.
Are you there with me, Randy?
I can hear you.
All right. Okay, so we're back.
Screen's not coming through though.
I know. Give me a second. We had some technical difficulties here.
I love the internet. Does so many wonderful things. Hey, I could see a picture. What'd I miss while I was away?
You missed. Boy, it was terrible for a video because I couldn't do two things at once. Golly, this has been a tough stream this morning.
It's like, yeah, it's like the streaming gods are not on our side right now.
I can't get my lighting right. The technical difficulties. It's been a morning. But we got Charlie Huff was who we missed.
Did we really miss him?
Boy, I tell you.
But actually, I like Charlie Huff. I know Charlie Huff more as a White Sox, but I liked Charlie Huff.
Did he play for the White Sox? Because he played 20 seasons starting from 70.
His name is Charlie Huff, right?
Yeah, H-O-U-G-H.
Oh, yeah. It's like he spells his name not weird, different. He spells it different. Yes, he played in the White Sox to 91-92.
Wow, so he played he pitched from 1970 to 1992. 22 years.
Actually, it says here he played till 1994.
Oh, 24 years.
He played, that's right, he was a Marlin too. I remember him fondly as a White Sox, not as a Marlin. He is so he pitched 70 to 80 for the Dodgers. Then 80 to 90 for the Rangers. And then, I mean, 216 and 216 is his win-loss record. 2,300 strikeouts, 3.75 ERA. I mean, yes, very, very long career. He is 76 right now, living in Hawaii. Good for him.
Good for him.
It's like, what a nice way to end. Nice retirement to Hawaii.
All right.
I wish it would say some of his contract numbers. I'd like to know what he actually made in his career.
And we got Jose De Jesus.
De Jesus?
Yeah. He was a journeyman. We don't really need to talk about him.
No, we don't need to spend a lot of time on Jose De Jesus.
And then we got Wes Chamberlain, who was an outfielder for the Phillies. He was another journeyman. I'm moving on to some of these guys.
Journeyman. Does he like the band Journey?
Maybe.
Is that a Harold Baines?
That's a Harold Baines.
It's like Harold Baines. We know that we know what his career was. The whole thing I always forget is, was he a Hall of Fame? Did Harold Baines make the Hall of Fame, or am I getting him confused with?
No, I believe he did
Yes.
make the Hall of Fame.
He did. 384 home runs, almost a 290 career batting average. I mean, definitely worthy of the Hall of Fame. Spent a lot of years in the league. 6-time All-Star, a Silver Slugger Award winner. It's like definitely worthy of the Hall, in my opinion. 22 years in the game.
Yep. And he played for a lot of teams. Well, not a lot, but he played for the White Sox, the Rangers, the Athletics.
Well, the funny part is, it's like, so he started his career with the White Sox. He also ended it with the White Sox in 2001. So he was able to go home again.
Well, that's kind of nice.
But in the 2 years, he only played like 66 games for them in his last 2 years. But, come on. I mean, he's at 42 years old. He's still playing. He was a DH. Here's the fun part, though. He was a DH for most of his career. So the guy was a hitter, but he was a multiple-time All-Star. Obviously worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Yep. All right, let's go to one of these fat packs. We're probably going to end it on the fat pack because this is.
Let's end on the fat pack.
This has been such a kind of a mess up of a stream, so we're going to just do one more.
You know what? I'm sorry, but if there was no Cecil Fielder in the fat pack, they lied to us. Yeah, you got to have a John Kruk, or you got to have a Cecil Fielder in the fat pack.
Well, the good news is I have a nice set of 91 tops going, so these will be good to add to my collection, which is...
Heck yeah.
That's always nice. All right, we're going to start with a Tony Pena.
Tony Pena, legendary Cardinal and Red Sox.
And a Pirate.
And a Pirate?
Yeah, he started his career with the Pirates in 1980.
I don't remember him as a Pirate. I'm going to say that card is lying to us. Because I only remember him as a Red Sox and a Cardinal. And I'm not even that positive of the Cardinal.
Yeah, he was a Cardinal after he was a Pirate in 87. But
it's like, what a disappointing thing to be. You go from a Pirate to a little red bird.
During his career, he threw out 368 of 1,069 base stealers for a 3.44 percentage. That's pretty damn good.
It's like, and in that era, it was tough to catch guys because they were fast.
And then we got Lloyd Mosby. Don't know who that is.
No, but he either had a long, minor league career or.
No, he was just before me a little bit. He was a Blue Jay from 80 to 89. And he went to the Tigers in 90, but it says on the back of his card that he completed his Blue Jays career as the club's all-time leader in 9 offensive categories. So,
well, I'm going to say it wasn't batting average at 257, and I'm going to say it wasn't at home runs with 169. So
it was probably.
I'm still trying to figure it out. 280 stolen bases.
He had a lot of walks, so I'm guessing he was one of the walk leaders.
Yeah, his career 616 walks. Patient hitter. So on base percentage. So his career batting average 257. His on base percentage 332. So I mean, I'll give him credit. That's pretty good.
And then we got manager Bob Rogers. We don't really need to talk about him.
We don't need to talk about Bob.
He was a manager.
What about Bob?
What about Bob?
What about Bob? He doesn't look anything like Bill Murray.
And then we got Wes Gardner, pitcher for the Red Sox.
He had a fine minor league career with some major league experience.
He was a pitcher in the major leagues. We got Rick Mahler. That's a cool name if you say it, Mahler.
It's like, well, here's the fun part. So far, what we've learned about fat packs is we did get the fat manager.
We did.
So I guess it's like, I guess we could at least say we did get one fat guy in the fat pack. So congratulations to us.
Rick Mahler was a really good pitcher for a lot of years for the Braves. He was
but that must have been because the Braves had that dead time in the 80s where they weren't very good.
Well,
so you're talking about a guy that was probably pretty good for a team that wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't like the best pitcher, but he was he was what you call he was a workhorse. Because he started 39 games in 86, which is his highlighted year. But he was 237 innings pitched, 85, 266 innings pitched, 7 complete games. I mean, he was a workhorse for sure.
96 and 111 for the career. He did win the World Series with the Reds in 1990.
And then we got Efren Valdez, Cleveland Indians. See, on these fat packs, that's what it looks like. You got a lot more of the base cards. You get the players that were out there a little bit because Efren, he didn't do anything.
No, I'm guessing that he's not a member of anybody's Wall of Fame or Ring of Fame or Dugout of Fame. Maybe Bathroom of Fame? No, not at that career. 26 whole games. No, sorry, Ephraim. we talked about you way too much.
And then we got Doc Gooden.
I love the cards that it's like it's either Doc Gooden or it's Dwight Gooden.
Right.
Just depending on who's, but we know what a great career he had and what a tragic kind of, life he's led with his cocaine addiction and some of the other problems he had. I mean, you're talking about, if this is a guy that could have always stayed on the straight and narrow and could have stayed away from some of that stuff, I mean, I think he'd be talked about more as one of the all-time greats. We already think of him as an all-time great if you got to watch him. But I think some of the years of his career he robbed from himself, where he could have been even better.
Yeah, it's such a tragic one because he was so good.
It's like I mean, just him and Strawberry together, what a team up.
Then you got Joe Torre, who's that was him as a manager, as the Cardinals manager. Huh.
It's like, well, and I've never been a big Joe Torre fan, but I've never, even when he was helping the Yankees win World Series, I never hated Joe Torre. He was just always one of those guys. He never was like controversial or antagonistic. He was just kind of just a good baseball guy.
Yep. And we got Jeff Russell again. We already talked about
Oh,
him.
Jeff.
We
Where's
always...
Joe Orsulak? Do you know where he is, Jeff?
He's Jeff Russell's our repeater for the week.
Yeah, he is.
Neil Heaton, pitcher for the Pirates.
Neil, hopefully he can bring the Heaton.
Looks like he was a pretty serviceable pitcher, long guy. And
once again, it's like if you're a Pirates fan or something like that, you might remember him a little bit more fondly.
Then we got Tom Pagnozzi, catcher for the...
Love that last name. Pagnozzi. What a great lad. Anything that has a Z in it, two of them especially.
Tom Pagnozzi was around for a while, and I remember seeing him play, and, he was just a catcher.
He was just a catcher. There was also a Matt Pagnozzi that played in the league as well. I'm wondering if that was his kid.
We got Dan Wilson, who played for the Reds, and he was a number 1 draft pick.
Here's the fun part. It's like we go from a great name like Pagnozzi to a boring one like Dan Wilson. And I'm going to tell you another reason Pagnozzi was good. He wore the number 19, and he was a one-time All-Star. And he played for your favorite team, the Cardinals.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I was trying to gloss over that, but...
How dare you? How dare you gloss over that?
Dan Wilson was a number 1 draft pick, so he's one that we're going to have to see how his career did.
Yeah, no, it's like I need to know. I need to know what he did. It's like, because it's the weird part is it's like, yeah, something's not going right there. See, now my internet's I'm hoping that my internet is not going to drop me here, because it's like my internet is now struggling. Obviously, we're going to need to invest in some better internets.
Well, I'll tell you
okay, so Dan Wilson was a American songwriter. But that's not who we're looking for. Daniel Allen Wilson was a professional baseball player. He played from 92 to 2005.
Oh, he played a long time.
So he had a nice career as a professional player. He had 88 home runs, 262 career batting average. His winning percentage as a manager is .667. Of course, he's only 4-2.
I see.
So currently, he is the Seattle Mariners manager. So they just don't have his record updated as whatever he's done with the Mariners this year at 4-2.
I had to take a bite of the donut. I'm sorry.
How was the donut?
Eh.
Looks like Dan Wilson may have taken over recently.
He got to make it up to the wall because he was the number 1 draft pick who stayed in the league. And then we got Randy Veras. Another
I think we've talked about him before.
Yeah, we have. And then we got Norm Charlton.
One of the nasty boys.
Yep.
So we have definitely had him as well.
Yep, he's I think we had him in the 89 set. And then we got Dave Island.
He's on an island all by himself where he's the only one that knows about him.
He's a Yankee. We don't need to talk about him.
No, we don't need to talk about the Yankee.
We got Johnny Ray. It's a cool name.
It's a good name. Stingray. He should have played for the Devil Rays. It's like...
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Devil Rays came way later.
Yeah, and he was
there's no way that guy would have made it.
He was a pirate and an angel. Angel Ray?
Well, Angel Ray. Pirate Ray, Pirate. No, none of that works. He needed to be a Devil Ray, but he just wasn't going to play. He wasn't going to play long enough to make it.
And we got a future Rocky manager, Mr. Jim Leland.
Yes, one of my favorite managers. I liked him even when he managed the Pirates. It's like I like Jim Leland.
He was just an old school baseball guy.
Yep. It's like one of the reasons I like the guy. It's like, and I was glad he was I was glad he was a manager for the Rockies, but he didn't do much for us. But you could tell he was at the end.
Oh yeah, he had a terrible team to work with.
So. Oh, of course you would. Yeah, well, he was given the Rockies.
Right, that was a money grab right there. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I should have already been retired, but I'll grab a little bit more money. I'll grab a little bit more of that Rockies money.
And then we got Kelly Downs. He was a Giants pitcher. I think he looks like he was a specialist. Maybe like just a lefty specialist or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we've always seen those guys that get brought in for one. It's like, okay, we're going to bring him in for one hitter. And that's it. And then we're going to wait for another 20 minutes. Thing is, Kelly Downs, I mean, you say what you want. He had a long career.
Maybe I'm mistaken. It looks like he's a starter. Hitter.
Unless I've got the wrong guy. Oh, I'm still on Tom Pagnazzi.
Kelly Downs, we're gonna skip.
I'm just sitting there going, wait a minute, this doesn't even work here. 57 and 53 in 8 seasons.
We got Drew Hall.
No comment.
Drew Hall of the Expos. He's a
Hall of the Expos. First, I need to know what an expo is to go into that hall.
And another middle relief guy. All right, we're moving through. We still got a lot of cards here.
Yeah, we still got quite a few.
But we got a future star to look up, Rich Garces.
Garse. Oh yeah, Garces. I do remember him. It's like his name is Richard Allen Garces Mendoza Jr.
He was a twin in the 90 season, and he only pitched 5 innings, but
he was a twin. He was a twin in 90, Cub in 95, Marlin in 95. He was a Red Sox from 96 to 2002.
Oh,
so I mean,
so he played for quite a while.
He did play for quite a while. I mean, his career numbers, 3.74 ERA, 296 strikeouts, 23-10 record. Played from September 18th, 1990 to July 20th, 2002.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, now we got an Astro, Mr. Mike Sims.
Mike Sims. He was a player for the Astros. That's what I know.
Yes, he did. But he was a journeyman, so he's going to journey to the pile.
Great. That's a good journey for him. Not to the wall, to the pile.
Then we got Darnell Coles. He was kind of a utility guy for the Tigers. Yeah. Had a stint with the Mariners, went to the Tigers, went to the Pirates, back to the Mariners, back to the Tigers.
It seems like just probably was a baseball player that played for a long time. Here's the thing, though. It's like if I'm saying this right, that is future Rocky Darnell Coles.
Of course it was.
It's like future Rocky Darnell Coles. Here's the thing. He played for the Colorado Rockies in 1997. Played for the Hanshin Tigers in 1997. So I don't think he was a Rocky for very long.
No.
His last appearance was on May 22nd, 1997 for the Rockies. He did like to play in Japan.
Well, that's so he would just go back and forth. It seems at the end of his career.
Yeah, but Darnell Coles, future Rocky.
We got Ed
Nothing more
Nunez.
already.
Ed Nunez, pitcher for Detroit.
That's a lot of stuff there for Ed Nunez.
Yeah, he had a career starting in '82 with the Mariners, went to the Mets, and then went to the Tigers. Had a good ERA in 1990 at 2.24. He was a middle relief guy, of course.
Yeah, 54 saves in his career with a 28-36 record, 4.19. Played for 13 seasons.
So what I'm seeing is if you got the fat packs, you were looking to make the complete set. You were trying to collect them all because we've had 3 managers in this set.
That's awesome.
Joe Morgan, Red Sox manager in 1990.
That's why they called them the fat packs, because the fat managers were in there. It's like, what fills out a fat pack? A fat manager.
Well, that makes sense. They're missing Don Baylor, though.
Oh, that's true. Well, Don Baylor was not a manager until 93.
Yes. We're a little ahead of ourselves, but...
Yeah, but if we could find a Don Baylor card, we could go future Rockies manager.
Fat pack.
And he was kind of chunky.
All right, Jeff Ballard, pitcher for the Orioles. I think we're going to kind of just run through the rest of these cards here because
unless we come on somebody that's just amazing.
Jeff King, Pirate, first base, third base, kind of a journeyman. He's going to journey to the Pat pile. Jesse
You should sing him the Journey song.
Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah, Don't Stop Believing. You're going to the pile.
Jesse Barfield was a Blue Jay.
Yankee.
And then a Yankee, and he's a Yankee, so he's out.
He's a Yankee. Sorry. Just never been a Yankee guy.
Then we got Teddy Higuera, pitcher for the Brewers.
You know what? I like Teddy Higuera.
Yeah.
You know why? He did not look like he should be a professional baseball player at points in his life. But he is a very good 94-64, 3.61 ERA, 1,000 strikeouts, made an All-Star team. He is in the American Family Field Walk of Fame and is in the Milwaukee Brewers Wall of Honor.
Awesome.
He is also in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Mexico.
Hey, there you go.
So you're talking that's a very good player. It's like, congratulations, Mr. Higuera, for your Hall of Fame nod there.
You know what? I'm going to change his position, and he's going to go up on the wall.
Yeah, put him on the wall. That's a Hall of Fame player.
That's right. And then
the Mexican Hall of Fame, you know what? There have been lots of great Mexican athletes, and he's in the Mexican Hall of Fame. So I'll give him his credit for being a great pro athlete.
We got Bobby Thigpen. I remember Bobby Thigpen.
Bobby, he was one of the best closers for a while. It's like Bobby Thigpen was amazingly. I remember there was a time for the White Sox he was dominant as a closer. 201 career saves. But he was, he was incredibly good for the White Sox.
In the 1990 season, he had 57 saves, which I think led the league.
Yeah. In 1990, he was the AL saves leader, and he was the Rolaids Relief Man Award. And it was the only year he was an All-Star.
Hey. If you're the Rolaids Relief Man, you're on fire.
It's like, does anybody still take Rolaids? I think everybody's switched over to Tums.
Yep.
ROLAIDS.
You got Jim Acker. I remember Jim Acker as well. He was a perennial Blue Jay. He had a stint with the Braves and then came back to the Blue Jays.
Jim Acker, you know what? You should make sure he stays on the top of the pile because he's got the A name, so it's like he should be on the top alphabetically.
We got Kirk McCaskill. We had him last week.
Yeah, Kirk McCaskill was a last weeker.
Yep. He was an angel. We don't know about in real life, but we know as a baseball player.
Well, yeah, it's like in real life, he could have been an angel too. You never know. Maybe he was touched by an angel. Maybe he really liked that show.
Hey, it was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
Tom Brunansky.
Oh, Tom Brunansky.
Yeah.
That, you know what? Here's the thing about Tom Brunansky. As much as I like Tom Brunansky, you're talking, this is a guy that was mostly a DH. For a guy that has the name Brunansky, I picture this guy needing to hit 500 home runs in his career. But that's not quite Tom Brunansky. That's not quite what his career was. But it's like Tom Brunansky was a very good player. He did have 271 career home runs, 919 runs batted in. Good stints with the Red Sox, the Twins. He was on your favorite team, the Cardinals. Played for the Brew Crew. He was an All-Star in 95, World Series champion in 87 for the Minnesota Twins.
There we go. Solid.
Okay.
Solid. Guy.
Solid. Good.
Looks like
good name. Good player.
Like to hit the ball. And then we got Rick Cerrone. He was a Yankees catcher. Long career. Started in 75 with the Indians and then kind of bounced around for a long time, but just one of those good old veterans that you bring in just to, rough up the young guys.
Well, to me, it's like he's one of those guys that it's like, you know what, you have to have two catchers on the team, and Cerrone's gonna be just one of the two catchers, but we're not counting on him being the better of the two catchers.
Yeah, but he's the veteran that you want for the young pitcher that comes in, just to calm him down, keep him in check, and get him through the game. He was a veteran signal caller.
I love the players that it's like you sit there and you look at their career and it's like Indians, Blue Jays, Yankees, Braves, Brewers, Yankees, Red Sox, Yankees, Mets.
Back and forth.
You know what? He must have always given a 2 weeks notice to the Yankees, so they kept bringing him back. You didn't burn the bridge, so here you go. We'll bring you back again.
Yep.
Do you know in 91, here's the fun part, in 91, he goes to the crosstown rivals and plays for the Mets.
That's kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah, it's like you spend 3 stints with the Yankees and then your last 2 seasons are with the Mets and then the Expos, and that's never offensive, unless you hate Canada. And I don't hate Canada.
And then we got the last card we're going to have for this week is Terry Mulholland.
And Terry Mulholland he was one of those guys that it's like he was definitely a very good pitcher for a long time.
Yeah, I remember Terry. He was he wasn't going to be an overpowering guy, but he was consistent. He pitched a 6-0 no-hitter versus the Giants in 1990.
But here's the thing. You want to talk about, you can say what you want. He played 86 to 2006. So, that's an amazingly long career. But listen, San Francisco Giants in 86, 88, and 89. Philadelphia Phillies, New York Yankees, San Francisco Giants, Philadelphia Phillies. In the same year, went to the Seattle Mariners. Chicago Cubs. In the same year, went to the San Francisco Giants. 98, 99, he's a Cub. 99, 2000, he's a Brave. 2001, he's a Pirate. 2001 and 2, he's a Dodger. 2002 and 3 back to the Indians, 2004 and 5 Twins, 2006 Diamondbacks. This man played for every team in the MLB twice.
Just about. He tried, didn't
he? It's like, holy smokes, man. He played for the Giants twice, played for the Phillies twice, played for the Giants 3 times.
Well, I tell you what, Randy, we're hitting that point of the episode. I am going to...
Where it takes 20 minutes to list all of Terry Mulholland's accolades or teams that he played for.
We're gonna open one more of the regular size packs, and we're just gonna kind of run through them really quick, just for fun, because it's fun to open packs, and just so we get 3 packs out of the way. There's our good old gum that was disgusting.
Don't eat it.
I'm not gonna do that again. I didn't pay for that. All right. So we got
never again.
We got Rene Gonzalez. We got Kevin Appier. He was an all-star rookie. I'm gonna do a video on him later. We're gonna see what his career turned out as an all-star rookie.
I agree.
Chuck Finley. We got David Cone. David Cone was around a while.
Great player. Then he became a Yankee, and I hated him.
Dennis Rasmussen. Anthony Telford. Another manager, Bobby Valentine. We got Nelson Liriano. Scott Radinsky. Didn't we start with him?
Yeah, Scott Radinsky was like the first player.
Yeah.
Here, put him at the last, and then we'll end with him.
Okay. Mike Boddicker. We talked about him last week.
We talked about him before.
Paul Marak. Gary Green. Oh, hey, there's Sean Dunston again.
Sean Dunston again. Oh, it's good. It's a good card day when you get 2 Sean Dunstons.
Ooh, we got a future Rocky.
Ellis Burks. Future Rocky.
We got Tommy Gregg, who I'm pretty sure we had in this one as well. And the last card, oh my gosh, it's Scott Radinsky again.
How? How is that possible? How we end up with Scott Radinsky as the first card and the last card? It's almost like that was staged or something.
Almost. I mean, what? How did that happen?
How did that happen live where nobody could ever see what we were doing?
We're going to have to go back and check the footage.
Check the tapes.
All right. Well, I tell you what, that'll be a good wrap up for the episode, Mr. Scott Radinsky. We're going to, I'll do a video later on Kevin Appier, the Topps All-Star rookie. And
Kevin Appier, I think, had a pretty good career.
Well,
but I don't remember. I'll be interested to see what his stats are.
Yes, we'll do a quick little video on him later on, and that'll be a fun one. I could do a little research on him so I can have a good idea of what his career was. And
but here's the thing: did he go to prison like another player?
We will find out. All right. Well, Randy, thanks for joining me this week. For some 91 Tops. We didn't have the best episode with all the technical BS, but you know what? Next week's a new week. We'll come back with 1992 Leaf.
1992. We're getting into some years where, we start to see a lot more of these guys on ESPN, and, you really get to actually know who more of these players are as ESPN becomes a lot more as you watch Sports Center every morning for 4 hours in a row.
Yeah, just hoping that something would change, even though it never did. It was the same play of the day every time, but you just thought maybe this one will be different.
Maybe somebody did something overnight that they'll put in there. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, well, Randy, good to have you, everybody. Thanks for watching. And next week, also, hopefully, I will have some new updates. I am working very hard to get sound effects, because I feel like sound effects for this show will be exciting. So I'm gonna keep working on that. Clearly, I couldn't even figure out the technical part on my side this week, so we'll see. Until then, though, have a great week, and we'll catch you then.